Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome if you are a new viewer, because I am posting now about my hair, and if, as the title shows, I am now microlocked, if you can even call it that. I still have twists, but my roots are interlocked. So I'm just going to give a full explanation about my hair. This is for my own documenting purposes as well as motivation, or just for information so you can follow along with someone else's progress. I currently am following several people, and I also did lots of research before I did anything, and I did put these in myself. But I just want to put my progress out there, and of course document everything as I'm going so that I can see how my hair is changing over time. And if you're interested in my progress, then I hope you stay tuned. Please subscribe, and there will be a full playlist. This is the first video in the playlist, but I'm planning that there will be more, so stay tuned. And I'm just going to jump right in with all of the information. I'm going to try to pop in some videos here, or maybe within the video itself, just so that you can see my process. These are DIY microlocs that I installed. It took me 3 days to do them. I started on September 3rd, so technically September 3rd was a Sunday. I washed my hair, and I cannot remember if I used conditioner in that process or not, but I'm going to insert the footage here to show you what exactly I used. For shampoo, I used this tea tree shampoo, which is a generic version of Paul Mitchell. I've got it at Sally's Beauty Supply. I did that on September 3rd. And then on September 4th, I started parting the sections. So I did the whole, what did I do first? I did the whole front section. So I parted my hair from ear to ear, and all the hair in the front section I did on September 4th. That was a Monday. It was Labor Day. I was off work, so it was a perfect time to get started. I took my time making the parts. I was very careful with the parts in the front because, of course, you know, with flipping the hair over and then also putting half up, half down, I wanted to make sure that the parts were good in the front. I did, you know, I was careful with the back too, but not as precise. So I tried to make a middle part, even though I don't really necessarily plan on wearing it in the middle, but as it grows out, I think I will enjoy a middle part much better than how it is now, short with the middle part. So I wanted to have that set, and I also wanted to have side parts and all those lines straight, so I was very detailed in doing all the parting. So again, I did the whole front section on that Monday. I worked on and off throughout the day, so I don't remember exactly how many hours it took, but you know, I wanted to make sure the sizing was good. Since I mentioned sizing, might as well say that I did do like the front hairline of my twist a little bit bigger than I normally would have. So, and I did that because my two biggest scares or worries with locks is lint and thinning. I do not want my hairline to suffer. I don't want to have a whole bunch of scalp showing in the back or throughout my head. I already have like three, really like two areas, an area here, and I think there's another one on this side that kind of matches where my hair is a little bit sparse right there. It's been like that forever. And then I have this little spot right here, which I've been maintaining my own hair for several years now, natural and relaxed and texlaxed. And at one point several years ago, I did my own relaxer, and this part of my hair came out and it has never grown back. So I'm very concerned about that hairline area, and I don't want any thinning there. So even when I do my reties, I'll be doing them myself, and I already have a plan how I'm gonna carry those out. Like I said, I did these a little bit bigger because the hair here is so fragile. I didn't want the hairs hanging on by like 2 strands of hair. So that's what I did for the front. And then, you know, I worked on that, got it all set, and I tried to make the twist as small as possible because I still look at a bunch of sister locked women, and they have beautiful locks, and I really kind of was like leaning towards that look, and I was trying to go as small as I felt comfortable, but every time I grabbed a section of hair, I couldn't make it any smaller than whatever I had in my hand. So I'm like, well, let's just do this and see how many I get, see what it brings, and I'll just keep moving from there. And I did have like a really strong hang up over the number of locks because I wanted to make sure that they were small enough but not itty bitty, but not too big and not whatever. So I was going back and forth even after I put them in, like watching everything, trying to see how many locks do different people have, what's their hair density, what's their hair type, their texture, all of that, to try to get an idea, just an idea of course, of what mine might look like. I know everyone is different, but I tried to use my best judgment, like studying the screen so carefully to see, like, is this possibly what my hair might look like? So I made them as small as I could. I didn't want my hair dangling off a few strands of hair, and I figured, okay, they're gonna get longer, they're gonna get thicker, and I'm concerned that the base is strong. So I was very, very careful with choosing the size and making sure that I wasn't like holding on to just like 4 or 5 strands of hair when I was making the twist. So anyway, that's the whole thing about where I came up with this size. So I don't know, I don't think I got anywhere near like Sister Lock size, but this is what I'm comfortable with. So I just have to trust that it's gonna look okay, and if it doesn't, I do have a backup plan, but I'm fully expecting to enjoy how my hair looks no matter what. So I have no intentions on taking anything out. The only way that I would go with my backup plan is if things just are completely just astronomically crazy looking, which again I don't anticipate, because I feel like this style, my hair was literally made for this style. I feel like there are some people whose hair textures is just like, this is what your hair wants, and I feel like my hair wants this style. It's wanted this style ever since I've been natural. But I did have to mention that my hair is halfway texlaxed, I'll say. So I definitely have a little bit of straight ends in some spots where it's a little bit straighter than others. I got to the point where I was looking up the locks again. I've always wanted locks. I don't know if I said that already, but I've always wanted to put my hair in locks. I always said this is something that I would do when I turned 50. I didn't actually have an age at first. When I was in college, me and my roommate used to talk about locking our hair all the time. Me and another friend several years later talked about sister locks. I never knew exactly how locks would be installed. I just figured, like, every time I would do mini twists on my hair as a loose natural, I would always think, oh well, this is probably what I would look like if I had locks. And I always expected that if I just leave the twists in, they would turn into locks. I never knew that there was like this process of budding and teen locks and mature locks and all this stuff that I found out as I did my research. Never even considered all the process that your hair has to go through to actually lock. I thought it was way simpler than that. And then I saw how beautiful people's locks looked several, like even 2 or 3 years later. They looked even better. So after I decided, okay, I'm going to do this when I'm 50, I want like to go into my gray hair life, or my gray hair season, with locks. I'm already starting to gray now, but I always pictured myself with gray locks for some reason. But when I saw the beauty of the locks, it took maybe a few years to really see the full potential of it, and you know, the length that I'm hoping to get, it is going to take some time. And I'm like, well, why am I going to wait until 50? I need to do this now so I can enjoy it. So I started doing even more research and really diving into it to see exactly what the process is, what it requires, everything. And I felt confident that I did my due diligence in research and that I was confident in proceeding. And I will have to say, I'll pop in the video here, but this woman, Nora G, I feel like when I watched her video, there's this scene right here where when I saw her in this scene, she was just beautiful. That was like my assurity. I had 100% certainty that this is what I was going to do when I saw this video, and when I saw this, the way she looks in this scene right here, I'm just like, oh, it sealed the deal for me. So on September 4th, I put in 146 twists right in the front. So I have 73 on this side and 73 on this side. And so that's 146 right in the front. And then the next day, September 5th, I did the whole back section. So I have 75 locks in the back, just from like the top of my ear over to the other side, 75 back there. And I have a whole different texture of hair in the front versus the back. The front of my hair, this whole section is a lot looser. I guess you could relate it to 4B hair if you want to use a scale. It's more 4B than 4C, but the back is definitely 4C, majority of the back of it. The crown, I think, is kind of like 4C. In the middle back is somewhere in between. I don't even know, but the front is very loose, so I can even come in a little bit closer and show this is what my hairline looks like. And I want to get a clear look at my hairline because this is what I want to maintain. I guess this would be considered baby hairs. These hairs just lay like this, and I want to maintain this as my hair grows. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. Anyway, so 75 locks across the back on September 5th. Then on September 6th, I did this whole middle section here. And I have 129 right here. So a total of 350. And when I first installed these or did the twist, I had 348. But then I went back and found two of my biggest ones and I split them. so that I could get to 350, just because I figured what's making an extra 2 just to get the even number to start with. Let me just try it. I did it. So now I have 350 twists. What I decided to do going in was that I was going to just let the twist stay in, and I would not interlock until I had sufficient new growth. So like a month and a half, 6 to 8 weeks, the standard interlocking time, that I could think about it and look at myself and really, really, really make sure, for sure, that this is what I wanted to do. So I waited a little bit, and just looking at my notes here, I wet my hair on September 9th because I'm like, okay, well, I'm seeing it now. It's stretched out. It's hanging nice. I want to see what it looks like when I soak it with water. So on September 9th, I drenched it with water, let the water hit it. I let it air dry. Of course, it shrunk up. And then I looked at it even longer, you know, trying to get a feel for it, seeing, okay, this is probably the size that it'll be. Eventually, it'll double in size, most likely, than what I'm seeing. And of course, I had to really focus on the roots because the rest of the hair is texlaxed. And it's very, very close, like I said, to my actual texture, but I didn't want to rely on that at all. So I was focusing so much on this section here, which is the full new growth. And I do have to say that in between there, so when I was installing the locks and when I first wet my hair, I did have a lot of itchy scalp, and I usually don't have that problem. I don't have to wash my hair frequently, so I was feeling a lot of itchiness right here. And during that time, I used this. I had this oil already, this Mielle rosemary mint scalp and hair strengthening oil. I used this at that time, you know, just dragged this little thing through my head and massaged it in. And then I also had this Vegamore because, like I said, I wanted to get this little patch grown in, and I had seen some ads on this. It's like a hair growth serum, but it's liquid based, so if my hair was straightened, I wouldn't use this. So I did use this on my scalp to try to relieve some of the itchiness, and I'm pretty sure the itchiness was because I had just messed with my hair a lot, parting it, twisting it, and then laying back on it. My scalp wasn't really used to feeling like the texture of the twist against the parts. So I feel like that added to the itchiness. That did last for a few days. I always tended to have like a little itchiness at the crown anyway, so it's basically back to what it normally is. This is the part of my head that seems to just grow in differently. So I feel like that's what I end up scratching just a little bit there. But no real scalp issues. Rinsed my hair September 9th, looked at it, watched it, saw how it was. I was very happy with whatever it was going to end up being in my mind. And I decided to just move forward. September 16th, I decided to interlock the roots. I had ordered my tools on Amazon and they had arrived by then. And I also created this mixture. So I added the following ingredients. I believe they were filtered water, rose water, and glycerin mixture. And then I added in jojoba oil, a few drops of lavender oil, and a few little squirts of leave-in conditioner. Now, I don't know if the leave-in conditioner is something that I'm going to continue to add or to keep in my water mixtures, because I've been hearing that I shouldn't put conditioner in my hair, and I don't really feel like it necessarily needs it. That's what I used on September 16th to do my interlock. I wasn't sure which tool I liked best. I thought I was going to do the 4-point rotation, and I'm like, well, if I have to put each of these little pieces of hair through that needle to do the rotation and take it out and then put the next piece in, the next twist, and then keep moving down, I felt like that was going to take me forever. So I had this crochet tool. I already had this tool, and I decided to try that with just a 2-point rotation, and that's what I ended up using to interlock my roots. Sometimes I had to do it 2 times, sometimes I only needed to do 1 time, but I thought it would be best to do it early instead of waiting for the 6 to 8 weeks to do the interlocking, because I didn't want the twist to start to loosen at the roots. I wasn't really that worried that I would lose a whole twist, but I just didn't want it to get baggy at the roots. Might as well interlock it, and then I'll be locked in. So that's what I did. And at that time, I did also trim my ends, because the ends, of course, like I mentioned, are texlaxed and had a lot of like scraggly pieces. So I trimmed those off. So then the next day, Sunday, which was September 17th, I did my first style, I guess you could say. I just sprayed it lightly with the same spray, and then I put it in like 8 braids, and then I only left them in for like 20 minutes because we were on our way to church and I didn't have a lot of time. I just did it at the last minute, and the crinkles were like perfect, and that lasted for a few days. So this is still the same. This is like flattened out since then. Now we're like a few days later and the crinkles dropped. Oh, and the other thing, when I would go like this, sometimes I would just see random strands of hair, like loose strands just throughout, and I'm like, where did those loose hairs come from? On September 20th and 21st, I kind of just went through my whole head, and anywhere there was like a loose strand, or if there was hairs like coming out like frizzy, I would just twist the hair around whatever twist it was closest to. So that is all for now. I hope this was helpful for anyone. I hope you found it informative or even entertaining. I hope that you will stick around if you want to follow me along. Oh, before I go, I might as well, I think I showed my hair up close a little bit, but let's see if the camera will pick up. Okay, so I feel like I had the best results with the lighting and everything in here. So let's see. Today is, what's today? September 22nd for reference. So I'm gonna turn around first. Oh, my other apprehension besides the thinning. Did I say lint? I'm so worried about lint. I hope I don't have that problem. People say their hair, oh, my hair attracts lint, but I feel like locks in general attract lint. So I'm definitely watching out for that. And sometimes I'm looking at my hair and I'm like, oh, is that lint? Is that lint? And it's gray hair. It'll be a gray hair. Anyway, here's my hair. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.